I'm pleased to be back in the Black Mountains today for the first time in about 3 months. Last time I was here with my friend Dave and we walked along the ridge up here in quite thick cloud. A very grey and chilly day in the winter. Today is a complete contrast to that with blue sky, baking sun. As I was driving here this morning, there was thick fog along the motorways and it somehow cleared in time for my walk to start. And tomorrow is the official first day of summertime in Britain. So the clocks go forwards tonight. It's also Mother's Day. It's also my birthday as well. I've had a lot going on recently. And I spent the past week moving house as well, which has been quite stressful, quite tiring. I'm still not yet finished, but it's all for the better, I think. Somewhere nice to live, and it's not really too far away from the motorway, so I can get to places like this quite easily. I'm heading up towards the ridge of Chwarel y Fan, if I can say that even remotely correctly. I'm going to follow that ridge south towards Bal Bach, and then coming down across the valley up onto Mynydd Du Forest and Waun Fach, and back around via the reservoir. I'm currently following the less trodden path onto the ridge, hand-reading the fence on my left here, and behind me now I think the raised plateau there is Waun Fach, which translates a little more in English. So later on today I'm going down, crossing the valley down there, climbing up through those woodlands and then along that ridge there, and somewhere down in the valley there is the reservoir. I'll be coming down past that and back to my car at Blaen-y-Cwm, which is somewhere in there. I read the mountain forecast last night on the Met Office website. They were saying it feels like 1 degree on the high point today, but I'm here now feeling like I did not need my base layers and my thermals. I almost regret not buying sun cream in Aldi yesterday, so we'll see how this goes. So, to my right now on the east side we have Offa's Dyke, with Haybluff at that end and north, and to the south it goes down towards Hatterall Hill. I'm walking this way now towards Bal Bach and Balmower. Bypassed Balmower as it's quite busy up there. Some kind of mountain rescue team set up there with the tent. I guess there's some kind of walking challenge event going on today. Just had a short break near Bal Bach and a pile of stones. It's been quite a busy experience the last half a mile or so. I've seen the mountain rescue team set up camp there, and I've seen a few groups of people going past me in the other direction, and some of them are doing navigation training, some of them are doing some kind of walking or challenge event, possibly the Black Mountain Challenge, whatever it's called, but I thought that's not until May, so I do wonder what they are doing. But it's nice now to be heading down west towards the next valley and into a quieter less populated area really. It's the second successive good weekend of weather so far this year. The last weekend in March. The funny thing is I woke up this morning after a rough night's sleep. My new neighbour beneath me was quite noisy last night. He had his friends around at 2 in the morning and they were there till at least 4. And I got up at 6 or so, got my food and my bag ready, almost out the door, and then I put my shoes on and suddenly my back just pinged and something went in my back. It was my lower back, right above the hip on my left hand side. And after rolling on the floor for 5 minutes in some pain, I managed to get my boots on, or my shoes on, get in the car, and I eventually drove here. And I was worried I might have to cancel this walk, even though it's such a nice day and I'm busy tomorrow. But so far it's been quite good. I've enjoyed the scenery, of course, but I'm not feeling discomfort too much. I think if I had stayed indoors, maybe in bed all day, I'd really regret it now. It's such a nice day out here. As I was saying, it's the first nice weekend, or second nice weekend of the year so far. So I have to set a compass bearing for my way forward from here, but visually I can see I'm heading towards the corner of the woods beyond these trees. Then I'm going to aim to the right of those to find my next path down across the valley. Last time I was here with Dave, we tried following the path here in the opposite direction, but we both found that the paths on the map were very, very hard to follow on the ground. There were lots of tussocks and boggy areas. There was no clearly defined path that matched up with that. But the clearly defined path worn on the ground was away from the right of way. We were both relying on our GPS devices on our phones to guide us up to Bal Bach. One of the reasons I'm here today is to not only enjoy the walk, but also to kind of do a recce for a future group walk I have in mind. And I thought, after the experience here in December, it'd be worth me coming here again on my own to find a reasonable way down to cross this valley that more people could contend with and not going to find it too challenging. I've just come from the tree line over there. Now I've contour the hill slightly and I'm going to head down towards the trees over here. I don't know how clearly you can see this on camera, but it's incredibly dense and dark in these woodlands. Probably a nice place to be in the summer. I've just come down there to this foresty path, and I think my path now, which is the byway, comes down through this very indistinct route of these trees. As nice as this area is, I'm going to have to head back, I think, because I've come to a dead end again. I now find myself resigned to following the forestry tracks of zig and zag formation to get to my point where I reach the road and cross over. After crossing the river, I made a mistake going in the wrong direction for 5 minutes, but without using GPS, I managed to recognise my mistake and get back on the right course, and now I'm climbing steadily up to the forest on the other side, following one of the mountain bike trails. Just past the man wearing a fleece, so I'm hoping it's going to be a bit cooler going north in this direction, because so far up here it's been very still and very warm. It feels like 15 degrees today. It really feels that warm up here. It's a lot more than what they forecast last night. I'm slowly heading towards Mynydd Du Forest, which is top of the big chair in English. I might stop there for lunch. That was Mynydd Du Forest. Had my lunch there for a good half an hour, but I couldn't do too much filming because there was quite a lot of people coming and going. It's quite busy. Busiest part of my walk so far, actually. I don't know where they all came from or where they're all going, because there are no car parks near here. I'll deliberately wait until the sun went in behind the clouds to carry on. It's a lot cooler now. It's quite nice to head towards Waun Fach. I'm not going to lie to you. I've been struggling the last couple of hours, physically, feeling so tired. My lunch stop was delayed because of the time I lost earlier trying to find the route, and yeah, I think I stopped too late, that's part of the reason, and had a good half hour there for a rest, which is good. I also put some energy tablets in my water, which always seem to help. They're helping right now. I've also got something called caffeine bullet. I was sent these a few months ago as a blogger to review them, and they're basically mint flavoured chews, similar to energy gels and tablets but much more convenient, I think. These you can just open them up, unpack them and chew them basically. They do work really well in my past experience. They'll give you a good half an hour of energy boost, and yeah, on a day like today where it can be quite hard work, quite a long day, quite an endurance challenge, they can give you that little bit extra, especially when you're already hurting. I'm going to concur with something Simon of Wales said in one of his recent videos about how underwhelming the experience of Waun Fach is. Despite the fact it's geographically the highest point in the Black Mountains range, it's very underwhelming compared to the likes of Bal, which has far better views. If you look on the Trig Point in UK website, you'll see there used to be a trig point on Waun Fach, but over the last few decades it's kind of sunk into the peat and now it's apparently submerged completely, so there's not even much of a reward climbing to that height. There is a slab of stone there marked with the letters OS, which I assume means Ordnance Survey, but I couldn't get there because there were some kids sat around it on the Duke of Edinburgh training, so that's how today's gone really for the last couple of hours. I get to a high point and I'm not alone, so I'm not very keen on filming much when I'm around people. I'm more used to finding parts of the Black Mountains that are less populated. Today's been more like the Brecon Beacons for the kind of footfall in the area, but it's been a great walk so far, and I should be back in my car in about 90 minutes I reckon, at most. I'm now heading north, almost towards Rostiryon, but I'm not going that far. I'll then turn south down into the valley, following the river from its source to the reservoir and then down to the car. And I was having thoughts earlier about wild camping in this area, maybe possibly May at the earliest. I'm trying to think of where I might come to, because there are water sources around here. There are car parks you can use if you know where to park, and yeah, I think there are, although it's not strictly legal to park to wild camp in any part of Wales really, unlike Dartmoor. This is kind of more appealing to me, whereas Dartmoor's typically wet and grey whenever I go down there. Wales is just, it feels closer to home to me, even though it's the same journey time more or less. The ridge in the foreground is the one I followed this morning, albeit further south. Behind that you have Darren-Lwyd, and behind that you have Offa's Dyke. Now on the home stretch towards my car. I should be there within the hour, hopefully. I do look forward to finishing my cup of tea in the boot of my car, and the rest of my lunch I've left over. If I have made two mistakes today, apart from my pronunciation of certain Welsh words, I would say they are packing too many warm layers and wearing too many thermal layers. I think next time I'll pack a spare t-shirt and shorts just in case. I've just passed a pair of people camping down by the waterside. Bright yellow tent, bright yellow t-shirts. In my opinion, there should be an element of stealth to wild camping, especially in areas where it's not technically legal. For my own wild camping plan, it currently involves parking in the same car park as I've used today, which is just down this way, walking up this path, past the reservoir, and picking up water along the way from the streams here. That That should involve carrying less weight initially and carrying the bulk of the weight for my evening and morning meals once I'm near the highest ground. And as far as camping and finding a pitch goes, that remains to be seen. But I'd like to get here, let's say mid-afternoon one day, before they lock the gates at the car park, because you can get out quite late at night, but they do lock them to stop cars coming in the early evenings here. And yeah, I'd like to give myself enough time and daylight to find a pitch or abandon the idea if the work should happen. And those two campers are pitched very close to this byway. They're very easily visible. My other concern for them is that they're going to get swarmed by midges in the next hour, because up on the hilltops over there, on the moorland, I was getting covered in them just at lunchtime, and there's not really very much water there. But the sun's going in gradually now, it's getting a bit cooler, a bit darker. The water is flowing fast. Now you can see the Grunewald reservoir. A bothy, I believe, just down there in the valley by the reservoir. I've not been down there before. I did spy two more campers, and I think there was one tent, but it's much darker than the other one I saw. So some stealth involved, I guess. Seems like a very popular day for wild camping. Just saw two more tents pitching up over the dam over there, and one was collecting firewood from a fallen tree and some branches, and just passed a group of people with big rucksacks. I guess they're camping as well. One guy just passed me wearing the same Osprey Atmos rucksack that I'm trying to sell, and ironically it was squeaking just like mine does. Just want to say a quick thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already done so, and I will see you again soon in the